Listen, he divides opinion, Jordan Turnbull, and I've been critical of him over the last 3 years he's been with the club. And he has his moments, he has his errors. He's a League Two defender. He's not going to be perfect. I actually think he plays better when he was on his own and not with Tom Davis, even though the two of them are both experienced defenders for this level. And they played a lot together. I never thought they made a particularly great partnership. And I think once you saw that Crosby was playing Turnbull and had Davis on the bench, I think it maybe became more clear to everyone that he was going to favour him over Davis. So, yeah, he's not, as I say, he's not perfect, but he's a solid League Two defender. He'll do a job. He quite clearly, and I think some fans have questioned his motivation, questioning his desire, but he quite clearly likes it here. You know, if he's had offers to go elsewhere, the ideal opportunity would have been this summer. After 3 years at Prenton Park, he couldn't have understood if he felt that he needed a fresh start for his own career. But I think he responded to a tweet the club put out saying that he loves it here. So that's always good to hear. But yeah, in terms of continuity, I think it's important to maybe keep players that know the club. If you've got an incoming amount of new signings, you can't just have 11 new signings and throw them all in the starting 11 and expect it all to gel instantly. So it continues that spine of a team that we've had over the last couple of seasons, albeit difficult campaigns for the club. We've retained McGee, we've retained Turnbull, we've now obviously O'Connor as well. So I think it's a positive with all things considered. And yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see what kind of partnership he manages now to strike up with the new guy from Port Vale as well. So overall, I think it's probably a positive decision for the club.
Craig's right. He does divide opinion, definitely. And I'm not surprised, because if you look at overall his time with us, if you took out Crosby's 13 games and the first 4 games of last season, of course, where we kept 4 clean sheets, it's been disappointing. We've lost a lot of games with Davis and Turnbull as the back two, and that can't be ignored, really. So for me, though, I'm quite happy with it. I think, as Craig says, once Crosby put pen to paper, then he was always going to offer Turnbull a contract. And I agree with Craig. I think he probably quite liked that role as the centre of the three. He had O'Connor and Wood either side of him, both sort of smaller full-backs, so perhaps needed a bit of guiding. And I wonder whether he quite enjoyed the responsibility. Maybe he's 30 now. When in the past he was alongside the more senior Tom Davis, who was the captain. So I'm definitely pleased with it. I think the other thing is, in the past, the competition for centre backs, actually, as poor as our results have been with Davis and Turnbull, the competition for centre backs, if you think about it, a couple of years ago we had Yarney, Bellahoon and Hockenhull. And then this last season, we've had Drysdale, who's been injured, and we've had Walker, who's been injured. So there hasn't really been much competition for the centre-back places. So I'm really pleased we brought in Smith from Port Vale. I think that's good pedigree. I think he'll probably look to have him as the centre of the three, with O'Connor on the right and Turnbull on the left. And Turnbull, he has, as Craig said, he's a League Two defender. He's going to have mistakes, and we saw last season, I think there was the own goal at Grimsby. There was when he had his shorts pulled down, literally, and which was comical, really. But there you go, didn't get a free kick. But he kind of thrived under Crosby, I think, and it's interesting as well, Matt, that you say he's had quite a few clubs in his career. And this is the longest he's been anywhere. So that is interesting. I did wonder whether he might have been the time for him to move on. But I think from listening to his interview, he's got some affection for the club. We know that he's passionate. And they've got, I think the club put out his goal highlights. It was only a minute long, but he doesn't half celebrate a goal. And we know he's passionate because of the way that he charges up to referees when he doesn't get his own way. So he's got to curb that a little bit, I think. But yeah, I think he clearly has affection for the club. He's still a good age. He's left-sided, left-footed, which gives you a bit of balance. And I also think, as I mentioned when we talked about Bristow, I think when you're going to play wing-backs, ideally your left-sided centre-back and your right-sided centre-back are comfortable going out wide, because there will be times when your wing-backs are further forward. And O'Connor, we know, is a right-back, so he's comfortable moving out from the centre. And Turnbull has played left-back, so I think he's quite comfortable in possession as well. So, yeah, there was talk of, some people have said, oh, he should have only got a one-year deal. I'm sure he will have had interest from elsewhere. And I can understand the concern about it to a degree, because if you look at his stats, probably in those games he's had with us, the percentage for defeats will not be low, because we have lost a lot of games. But Crosby clearly rates him, and you can't blame him, because under Crosby, in that system, he thrived. He did very well. So he was just as important part of that run to stay up as most players, really. So I'm one of them. I'm really pleased that he stayed, and he's another one that we've signed quite early. So he's got a bit of security with 2 years. And now, yeah, that back three, back five, whatever you want to call it now, is and McGee obviously has taken shape. Really, we probably need another centre half as backup maybe, but it's good that we've got that area of the pitch pretty much nailed down now. I think most fans, if we had a first league game tomorrow, could pick probably what the back five would be. And now, hopefully, we can perhaps spend some money in further forward areas of the pitch, but. It's also interesting, it's another 2-year deal. We've given 2-year deals out now to a few players. So who's funding them, whether it's Palios or not, who knows? But that's interesting as well. But yeah, really pleased. He's regular. He's rarely injured. He's consistent, apart from the odd hiccup. But yeah, I'm really happy with that.